You were both with us on the first night of this program's coverage of this evacuation. And Laura, you had written movingly about it at the time, what you were feeling. And I wanted to check in with both of you, especially you, Laura, who had been there and fought in this war, on what you're feeling, what you're seeing at this stage of the evacuation.
Honestly, and David mentioned this earlier today, I believe, on Twitter, but it's really quite amazing what's happened. It's not perfect. We're leaving people behind. That's awful. That number keeps going up. This morning, the number that I saw was 70,000 and 82. Now it's 87,000. This is astounding. It should have gone better. It should have been more organized. But given what happened, I think this administration should be a little bit proud to take responsibility of this evacuation.
David, your reaction on where we stand tonight?
Exactly where Laura said she was. The reality is that this is a tough situation. As you said, there's no way to end a war and lose a war and make it look like you're winning the war. But this administration has taken a bad hand and done a number of things that show a lot of character and a lot of capacity. They said they would leave Afghanistan. The last three presidents didn't have the courage to do it. When they had to do the evacuation, they mobilized what Jen Psaki has said is going to be the largest airlift in U.S. history. Sometime in the next 24 hours, we will pass 100,000 people having been evacuated from Afghanistan in under 2 weeks. That's extraordinary. But you also had Tony Blinken, as you say, accepting responsibility and answering tough questions, just as National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan did yesterday. He said, this is how many people were there. This is what we know. This is what we don't know. This is how we're solving it. And, you know, what more do you want from a government than doing the right thing, acknowledging its errors, mobilizing all the resources at its disposal, and doing everything that it can to help American citizens and our allies?
It does seem that a lot of the coverage has succumbed to this Hollywood notion of we never leave anyone behind. That, of course, is not true. There has never been an evacuating army that did not leave people behind. We left thousands and thousands of people behind in Vietnam. And Laura, one of the things that troubles me about that note in the coverage is there's a presumption in it that the American military is so good that it knows how to do this perfectly. And the only people who possibly could have screwed this up are civilians in the government who didn't allow the American military to do it perfectly. And this notion that the American military can deliver perfectly in situations like this, what bothers me about it is it feeds the notion that the American military can do anything, that it can go into Afghanistan, say, at the orders of George W. Bush, and be successful militarily in a country where no one has been successful before. And that's kind of my fear in the underlying tone of this coverage is, well, you know, it didn't have to be this way. My presumption at the outset was that it had to be this way if you go into Afghanistan, if you ever do try to get out.
Absolutely. People want a Hollywood ending, just like you said. They want a fairy tale. There is no happy ending to this story. The two choices are to get out, and it was always going to be ugly. And I will, you know, Biden was not my preferred primary candidate, but I will give him this. He has taken responsibility. He's done the hard thing. He's putting up with the negative media attention. And the other option, the only other option, is a forever war. And anyone who thinks that's a good idea, I would encourage them to read Bring the War Home by Catherine Belew. Exposure to violence overseas breeds violent extremism at home. We saw this after Vietnam, and we're seeing it now with the rise of the far right. These things are connected, and colonialism comes home to roost. And for the sake of our future and our soul, I think we have to end this and get back to living life without being at war all the time.
And David, one of the pressures in the coverage now and in commentators and partisans is the August 31st deadline, tremendous pressure on the president to move the August 31st deadline, as if that's completely up to the president of the United States in a country we are being driven out of.
Absolutely right. Again, there is no happy ending when you lose. The president of the United States and his team are negotiating, as Jake Sullivan said yesterday, daily with the Taliban about this. What the Taliban have said is you've got till the end of the month. The president has said, again, to his credit, that we have to make contingency plans. If we are not done, we may have to do other things to protect our citizens. And I think there's a very substantial incentive for the Taliban to enable us to get everybody out, because so much of their economic resources are controlled in U.S. and allied banks. So much of their GDP is dependent on international capital flows that we can apply pressure to them in ways that will make them go along with this. So they're managing this in exactly the right way. It's ugly, it's painful, but it's the best of all the options that are available to us right now.